Perfect. Well, thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome.
Once again, I'm Matt. I am a hypnotherapist here in New York. And first, I'm going to talk a little bit about past life regression to give you some background and context and sort of what you can expect from this experience. So first and foremost, past life regression is considered a form of hypnosis. And I use it in my practice as a form of self-exploration and even therapy. And I'll go into that in a little bit. For those who haven't experienced it, it feels a lot like a very active, visual guided meditation. So at its core, what past life regression is really about is getting in touch with that inner mind, unconscious mind, or sort of that deeper part of yourself. And through guided relaxation, allowing that part of you to speak to you in the form of past life memories. And the way that this works as a form of self-exploration or therapy is by focusing on what can be gained from the experience. So focusing on what lessons or insights or strengths you can gain from this whole thing when you relate the experience to your present life. The idea here is that when you alter your state of consciousness, you can actually access inner wisdom that may have felt out of reach prior. And past life regression, I would say, is just one way of gaining access to that inner wisdom through the experience and through interpretation of past life memories. So during this entire thing, once I start the regression, I will ask you over and over, what's the great lesson here? What's the takeaway? What is it that you can learn from this that you can carry over into your life? And deferring as an expert on yourself, letting you to come to those conclusions on your own, all right? Making those connections, allowing that puzzle piece to fall into place. And sometimes you need a little bit of space and time away from the experience to sort of have that aha moment. But once it hits, you'll definitely know. So I think the important thing here, lastly, would be to really allow yourself to use your intuition to guide you through this experience. It's less of a cerebral thing. So intuition as your guide. Also, I'm here to guide you, but make this experience your own. It's about you. So follow my voice along, but if it takes you somewhere else or you're having a different experience from what I'm saying, that's totally cool. That's totally normal. Importantly as well, if at any point, for any reason, you feel like you might want to step away from the experience or zoom out above a scene or come back to our safe place, we'll establish a safe place where we'll begin. You can do that. You're in control in your mind. So feel free to do whatever you need to do for yourself during the experience. So we'll do a round of 3 to 4 past life experiences, regressions. And after that, I'll leave some room for you guys to share your experience or ask any questions and talk about any connections that you've made or the lack of. And, I'm here to answer any questions you may have afterwards. So please get comfortable. I would suggest to please also mute Zoom on your end, that you're not making, I think everyone is muted. All right. Yeah, just get yourself comfortable. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to do that. All righty. So with eyes closed, we'll all begin by taking a nice, beautiful, deep inhale. and a cleansing exhale. And another deep, deep inhale here. Once again, a beautiful cleansing exhale. And one more deep inhale here. This time exhaling twice as long, letting all of the air out of the lungs. And as we begin our journey inwards here, simply becoming aware of what's already happening around you, listening to the sound and tone of my voice, listening to any other sounds around you, becoming aware of the exact position of those hands, those legs, noticing the temperature against that face. And as you continue to become present and grounded in this way, beginning to bring your attention and awareness to your body now, scanning the body and perhaps noticing those first glimpses of relaxation, noticing where they may be in the body. Perhaps it's a whole section of the body or the left pinky on your left hand. Just observing without making any judgment at all. And as you continue with your awareness in the body, bringing your attention now to the crown of the head, allowing it to rest there for a moment. And taking a nice, beautiful inhale here. And on the exhale, imagining a wave of relaxation slowly cascading down the neck, your forehead, relaxing all the muscles around the eyes, loosening the facial muscles, your jaw, moving down the neck and the shoulders, moving down the arms and into the torso, relaxing even the smallest muscles along the way, moving down the hips and the legs, moving down all the way down to the feet, relaxing the muscles down to their very fibers, all the way down to the toes, feeling whole and connected from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. And as the next breath is exhaled, imagining yet another wave of relaxation cascading down from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Beautiful. And as we continue our journey inwards here, bringing your attention and awareness now to the breath. Simply observing the quality of the breath, noticing its shape or texture, noticing whether it's long, short, smooth, rough, without making any judgment at all. Just observing the breath as it happens. And as we go even further inwards now, exploring our inner worlds, bringing your attention and awareness to the space between the inhale and the exhale. Noticing the rise and fall of each breath and that beautiful stillness in between. And as we continue our journey even further inwards now, bringing your attention and awareness to the space between your thoughts. Noticing that it takes time for each new thought to begin, and enjoying that stillness and peace in between. Beautiful. And perhaps experiencing this state of natural relaxation, as if returning home from a long journey or a hard day's work, finally at ease, letting go of any tension in the body, letting go of any thoughts or worries of earlier today, perhaps noticing them as if clouds passing in the sky, getting further and further and even further away. And using your imagination freely here, I'd like for you to now imagine for yourself a beautiful place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Now, this could be somewhere that you've been, or somewhere that you'd like to go, or somewhere in between, completely from your imagination. There are no rights and wrongs here. Perhaps getting a dreamlike sense of this place and what it would be like to be there first person now. Noticing the ground underneath, feeling the ground underneath your feet. Noticing the textures and colors there. Noticing the time of day. And just allowing the scene to unfold in front of you, easily and naturally, without making any effort at all on your part. Noticing the sounds and scents present. Noticing the temperature of the air against the skin in that beautiful place. As you continue to use your senses and imagination in this way, enjoying this place for yourself for a few more moments here. Using all 5 senses to ground yourself in that beautiful place now. And I'd like for you to now imagine for yourself a beautiful, beautiful door nearby, allowing your attention to gravitate towards that door easily and naturally, and perhaps making any necessary adjustments for that door to appear in your environment. Moving closer now, noticing its size, noticing the texture of that door, perhaps noticing the size and shape of the handle. This beautiful door in front of you. In a moment, I'll count down from 3 to 1 and invite you to step into a past life memory. 3, taking a nice deep inhale here, and a beautiful cleansing exhale. 2, 1, and stepping all the way through to the other side into a past life memory. Perhaps looking down at the ground, noticing the surface you're standing on, noticing if you're wearing anything on your feet at this time. And as you trace your eyeline upwards, noticing the textures and colors around you, perhaps feeling objects around you with the hand. looking to the furthest horizon and back, looking up above, noticing time of day, feeling the elements against the skin, perhaps feeling the body with the hands, getting a sense of age and, if appropriate, gender, and continuing to allow this scene to unfold in front of you easily and naturally without making any effort at all on your part at this time. There's no need to try, and there's no need to try not to try. Noticing any sounds present. Noticing if there are any other people present in that place. As you continue to explore freely on your own here. As you continue to allow this place to unfold, seeing it clearly, perhaps posing the question to your own higher mind. What is it that I'm meant to see here? What is the greater lesson here that I can take with me into my present life? And just allowing for that information to come through to you as you continue to explore, extracting any lessons and insights. Perhaps taking a final look around as you extract those lessons and insights. Bringing your attention and awareness back to your place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Clearing the emotional palette here, resetting just for a moment. Enjoying this beautiful place for yourself. As you turn your attention and awareness back to that beautiful door in front of you. And once again, in a moment, I'll count down from 3 to 1, inviting you to experience yet another past life memory. 3, taking a nice deep cleansing inhale and exhale. 2, 1, and stepping all the way through to the other side into a past life memory. Looking down at the ground, noticing the surface you're standing on. Noticing if you're wearing anything on your feet at this time. Looking at the hands. Feeling the body with the hands. Getting a general sense of the space around you and allowing it to grow into greater detail. Noticing the objects there. Noticing the colors and the textures. Hearing the sounds present in that place, maybe even tasting the atmosphere with the tongue. Allowing this place to unfold in front of you as if nature taking its course. Allowing your intuition to be your guide here. Perhaps noticing if there are any other people present there, and if so, looking into their eyes, noticing if you recognize them from your present life. And once again, as you continue to explore, posing the question to your own higher mind. What is it that I'm meant to see here? Making any connections, extracting any insights or lessons. What is it that I'm meant to see here? Is there something here that I'm holding on to, that I'm carrying into my present life, that I can simply let go of here today? Extracting any final lessons or insights, if there are any available, as you bring your awareness and attention back to that place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Taking a nice deep inhale here, beautiful cleansing exhale, resetting for a moment. Simply knowing that your unconscious mind will continue to integrate this experience for you, even when you're not paying attention. Bringing your attention now and awareness back to that door, once again counting down now. 3, 2, 1. And stepping into yet another past life memory. Getting a feel for the body, getting a general sense of the environment around you. Perhaps noticing details like time of day, time of year, a time in history. Using all 5 senses to ground yourself in that past life memory, noticing the sounds present, the scents, feeling what it feels like to be there with the body, noticing the elements against the skin. Once again, allowing this place to unfold in front of you easily and naturally without making any effort at all. Using your intuition to guide you. Continuing to explore. Allowing the environment to grow into greater detail. And this time, as you continue to explore this past life memory, I'd like for you to imagine for yourself wise advocate or a spirit guide, that part of you that's connected to so much more beyond the five senses. And of course, the spirit guide or wise advocate can take any shape or form. Once again, there are no rights and wrongs here. I'd like for you to greet your wise advocate. And I'd like for you to ask any question you might have to this wise advocate about this experience, about this past life, specifically, or about anything at all. Just allowing that wise advocate to answer any of your questions. Perhaps saying goodbye to your spirit guide or wise advocate now, as you gently bring your attention and awareness back to our place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Cleansing the emotional palette, resetting just for a moment here. As you turn your attention to that door once again. And this time I'd like for you to set an intention for yourself to experience a past life where you can gain inner strength or wisdom or any resource that can help you through this time that we're all collectively going through today. Setting an intention for yourself and counting down now, 3, 2, 1, and stepping into a past life that can provide you with inner strength, resources, ideas, thoughts that can help you going through this time that we're all going through now. Once again, putting yourself there first person, noticing if you're wearing anything on your feet at this time. Tracing your eye line upwards to the furthest horizon and back. Allowing for your environment to come into greater detail. Perhaps even looking up above. Trusting your intuition to guide you through this experience. Going with whatever you may be sensing at this time. Exploring with the knowledge that this experience can act as a mirror to our present life, showing us what's been there all along, but needs to be seen more clearly now. And once again, posing the question to your own higher self. What is it that I'm meant to see here? Is there a resource or an inner strength or a lesson or an insight that I can take with me? Is there anything at all that I can make use of in my present life? And exploring any connections, any insights, extracting. Once again, bringing your awareness gently back to our place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Resetting. Once again, trusting that your own unconscious mind will continue to process and integrate this information for you, even when you're not paying attention. And your conscious mind will simply know the right time to tune in. Once again, with this beautiful door in front of you now, this time, I'd like for you to experience something completely different. Maybe it's still a past life or a future life or somewhere else, using your imagination freely here. In a moment, I'll count down once again from 3 to 1 and allow you to experience this totally new experience for yourself. So 3, 2, 1, and stepping into this brand new experience for yourself. Becoming aware of the environment around you. Noticing shapes, textures, colors coming into greater detail as you move freely through this environment, allowing it to unfold as if nature taking its course. Nothing to do here. Asking yourself, your own higher mind, your higher self, what is the meaning of this? What is it that I'm meant to see here? What is the takeaway? Can I make any connections to my present life with this information? As you continue to explore, extracting any final lessons or insights, anything that may be useful to you. As you bring your awareness back to that place of safety, peace, and relaxation. Enjoying this place for a moment before we leave, really drinking it in. Carrying with you any new information that may be useful to you in your present life from this experience. And in a moment, I'll count up from 1 to 5. And with each number, I'd like for you to become more awake, aware, and present in your room. So 1, 2, noticing the changing sound and tone of my voice. 3, coming back to the surface of your conscious mind, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes, bringing life back into the body. 4, maybe feeling like you want to take a big, big stretch, really waking up here. 5, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. All right, welcome back. I'm gonna give you guys some time to perhaps share your experience if you'd like, or ask me any questions that you may have. Just give me a moment. Let me unmute you guys here. All right.
How'd you do?
All right, so you guys are unmuted at this time. Would anyone like to share their experience or ask me any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Hi, I felt like this weird thing with my eyes happening in the meanwhile, as if like they were closed, but they were going like this.
Mm-hmm. What did that from side to side, or
Yeah,
was it like really intense or just very sort of subtle?
it was kind of intense.
Okay. Well, Hypnosis can kind of mimic REM sleep, the rapid eye movement, part of your sleep. So that might have been it. I'm not quite sure, but that kind of sounds like it, if that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't too distracting.
Hey, Matt, it's Alex.
Hey.
I can jump in to answer that really quickly if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
go for it.
Yeah. Hey, Maria. So when you go into the different hypnotic depths, one of the first states that you can go into, as Matt said, does mimic the REM state. So what happens is the eyes they do begin to wobble side to side. They can also rock up and down. And then the third step is they can actually roll upward into the center of the forehead too. So some people can get a headache because the eyes are rolling up and inward. So it is a very common thing. So when we watch certain clients in the hypnotic state, we can watch to what depth you're really going into by watching the eye movements as well. So you were probably not in the deepest somnambulistic depth, but in a little bit of a lighter one, which has like really great visuals as well with it, while still being a little more connected to your body sensations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Anyone else?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Sydney, right?
Me. None of the going through the doors, they were always very dark. There was never anything that became very clear to me. They were the first one in particular was dark and narrow. There were people huddled on the side of the walls. It was like being in Morocco, like in the Medina, like, you know, narrow passageways. But I couldn't see anybody's faces. The long scarves and bicycles, but like huddled close to the walls. And then in the second one, it was dark again, but the room was larger, but again, ancient. I was barefoot. Couldn't see anyone's eyes. You asked to look into somebody's eyes, but couldn't really get close to anybody. That felt, not quite sure where that was. It was stone floors, stone walls. And then the third one was more like a forest, and again, dark. None of them were clear. And then the spirit guide was sort of like this weird kind of like old peasant woman, and I was like, why, who are you, and why you, who are you, why? And then I started to float away. She allowed me to float away. And that felt good when I was floating away, because it got lighter and clearer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, there are two things I wanted to mention as I'm listening to you. One of the things to pay attention to is what you're experiencing emotionally. That's very important. So what were you feeling during this whole thing? Sometimes it's not very visual. It also depends on you, whether you're a very visual person or not. So it may not be something that's super clear in the moment. Secondly, I would say this is the type of thing that the more you do, the better you kind of get at it, and you understand how to maneuver it. But what do you think that you got from it? What do you think those places represented? They can also be sort of metaphors. It doesn't have to be extremely literal, somewhat like maybe dream interpretation.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I had been lying down, would it have been more conducive or relaxing?
That's possible.
I could have had my head resting on something. Well, I don't know. It just felt muddy, like just unclear, muddy.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to try it again where, you know, it's maybe I was trying too hard.
Yeah, that's a common thing as well. You know, if we ever did a one-on-one session, I would help guide you through sort of that experience and making things a bit more clear. There are different techniques that I can use to help you get through it. In a group setting, it's obviously sort of impossible to do that.
But I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you.
Is this something we can do, or you would recommend we can do on our own, or does it have to be guided?
You can do it on your own. There is the Complete Idiot's Guide to Past Life Regression. And actually that book, the author goes into self-hypnosis and how you can do this on your own or with someone else. I would sort of definitely read up on it. It's not something that you just want to jump into without any knowledge. There are things that sometimes that come up that may be unpleasant, and you need to know how to deal with that and take yourself out of that or to even expect that. But yeah, it is possible. Self-hypnosis is a useful tool outside of past life regression. But to answer your question, yes, it is possible.
Thank you.
I just want to say one thing that I felt was pretty cool about it. Like throughout the experience, I was thinking, I feel like I'm consciously dreaming, you know, like when you're asleep and you're dreaming and then you wake up and you're like, oh, that was such a good dream. Like I would love to be in that dream again, you know? I feel like it's kind of like that when you're doing this, because you're just kind of consciously going off into your imagination and just experiencing it.
Yeah, I think there is sort of a comparison with like lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The first place I went was like I've seen in a dream before.
Oh, nice. I feel like I experienced that as well.
I think someone just cut off. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, past life experiences, whether you interpret them literally or as a metaphor, they can show up in your dreams as well. People have repeated dreams that are past life memories. And the reason being is that there's a similarity here, right? It's your unconscious mind speaking to you. So when you're sleeping and your conscious faculties are down, it's a similar idea. Your unconscious mind, there's a clear pathway for that information to come through. I hope that answers your question. Did anyone have any cool revelations or made any connections or had any useful or interesting information that came up during their experience?
My final place that I went was like a Mesopotamian or Babylonian or like something, and I was dressed like a goddess, and I felt like it was kind of saying like it's okay to embody that like archetype, like we all are that, and like if you go back far enough, like it's in all of us. So, and like it was very powerful to like feel that. Yeah, it was amazing.
Beautiful. That's perfect. That's awesome. You use a really good word here, archetype. So usually within these past life experiences, we experience these sort of archetypes, goddess or warrior or fool, those sort of common and, common themes that we all are familiar with, right? That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. All right. I think we have time maybe for one more question or share if
Hey,
anyone.
Matt, you had one question in the chat box
Oh,
too,
cool.
from Caroline, asking at what point do we discount that our imagination is running wild?
Discount that our imagination is running wild. Well, I think that's a form of the question that I usually get that's kind of like, am I making this up? And my answer to that, and your imagination running wild, it's that it is coming from within you. But the more interesting question would be, why is that showing up? Or which part of me is showing me this? Why is my imagination working in this way, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, now that you put it in that perspective, I kind of can see that, because in 3 of the places that I was in, I was actually a leader, but they were in completely different eras of time. Mm-hmm. That's something that maybe I've struggled with, or I've kind of had in the back of my mind, that I'm not equipped enough to be able to lead, but yet I led in those capacities in completely different time periods. And it wasn't just me, it was me like officially leading, like people looking to me for, answers, and looking to me to lead the tribe and to be in charge. And I just kind of found that was very interesting. So I don't know, maybe it's my imagination that that's my thing, or it's actually something that's actually coming from within.
Gotcha. Well, again, my whole thing here is, how can that be useful to me? So, maybe just having that experience and being to embody the feeling of being a leader can be really useful and helpful to you. That's definitely a good takeaway from that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Matt. I just wanted to say thank you real quick. And that I don't usually find it easy to drift into these places very easily or naturally, but every time you kept asking us to find a place, I quickly found some place. And unfortunately, every place, I don't want to say unfortunately, but every place was filled with a lot of fear and a lot of trauma. Definitely had a lot of that growing up, and the whole nine. So it was interesting that every spot I went to in different parts were those same topics. And in the end, when you were asked to come to our spirit guide, it was kind of just like a black room. I can't say I really saw anybody, but it was just this really strong voice that was telling me to trust myself. And going back to all those experiences to me that were then very fearful, I was able to overcome all of those. And I was just kind of realizing that I do need to trust myself more, and it's okay to be fearful sometimes. So thank you for allowing that space for me to get into and to open that up. And it really means a lot. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful to hear. I'm so happy that you were sort of able to reframe maybe some of those negative experiences.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it started with the dentist at a young age, something like that, but something that eventually you're able to overcome in some kind of way, shape, or form. Places that I guess at the beginning, I don't remember who said it. Somebody said their eyes were kind of moving, I felt very staticky in my head. It was kind of like a way that I could reference it. Like things were just very staticky and bouncing all over. But by the end, after I saw this spirit guide, I felt this just incredible sense of calm.
Wonderful.
So,
That's what we're looking for. That's the type of healing that can happen with past life regression. It's powerful stuff.
yeah.
I'm so happy you've had that experience. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thanks a lot. All right, guys. Thank you once again for sharing. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. My name is Matt. Once again, I do these things privately. Thanks to Alexandra and Modrn Sanctuary for allowing for this to happen. Hopefully we can do more of it.
Yeah, Matt, just to jump in here to say thank you to you. You're so talented at what you're doing. And again, like I knew it was a good fit when we brought you into Modrn. To everyone, I'm so glad you all got to experience, past life. And, it's always, as Matt said, great to keep doing it because the more you do it, the better it gets. And whether you believe in past lives or it's the creative mind, there's like a whole realm of healing that can happen from that place, as Liana even just shared with us, of third-party perspective, seeing it from another angle to gain perspective on, past stuff or moving forward. So it's really amazing. So thank you, Matt, for sharing that with everyone. Such a gift, and we will certainly do more of these in the speaker series of people like this too. So thank you all to you guys for sharing and being open to this experience. And it's such a fun thing to see everyone on here.
Thank you so much for doing this for us. This was really great.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Thank you guys. So good. Thanks.